What's up, my ninjas? Welcome to another episode of Quick Reviews. I'm Strident, of course, and today we're looking at it's the big craze these days. It's the Star Wars Black Series Finn and Kylo of Ren. I gotta give a thanks and a shout out to my homeboy ODC, that's me. You hear us going back and forth often. He actually picked up Finn for me. And then shortly after he picked up Finn, I started seeing Finn everywhere. Him and Chewbacca, peg warming like a motherfucker. So it's kind of crazy how this stuff works. But anyway, we're going to take a quick look at them. I'm going to show you whether or not they're worth all the talk and if they are indeed better than your Legends. Because I've noticed that there is a significant price difference between Legends and Black Series. And when you look at a Black Series figure, there's so much more going on with them. Like, for instance, on Kylo Ren, we've got cloth, actual soft goods, which is awesome. And it works perfectly with all the textures that you're seeing throughout the costume. And you don't get that on your Legends at all. You know what I mean? Every now and then back in the Toy Biz days, we used to get them. Shit, even in the early Black Series with Darth Maul, there's cloth in here. So, and you've got softer, rubberish plastic here. Then you've got the harder plastic up here. And on his legs and everywhere else. And, you know, you see the paint variation, too. There's at least 5 or 6 different, I'll say about 4 different blacks, and grays throughout here. You know what I mean? Because you've got your glosses. You've got your kind of, actually, I'm sorry. Maybe it's 2 or 3. But you've got variation. And then you've got another paint wash over top of this that's a lot shinier in parts because it's not consistent. But anyway, we're not talking about him. I'm just talking about the difference between your Black Series figures and your Marvel Legends. So let's look at Finn first. Alright, so we got Finn. First black main character in Star Wars. Pretty dope. His face sculpt is pretty good. He stands a lot shorter than many of the other guys, because I think John Boyega, if I'm not mistaken, he is a short dude, so he's not very tall. He kind of stands about 6 inches, like your SH Figuarts. Yeah, he's just a little bit under that. So he's a little guy. I like that, because it's variety, you know? Darth Maul was also a smaller actor, because, what's his name? Ray Park, whom I actually met in real life. He's not that big of a dude. So it's kind of cool seeing, you know, you've got more small guys, and then you've got, like, Kylo over here, who's pretty damn, like, he's much taller than the others. You see where his shoulders are and everything, and where the top of his head is. So that is a nice, you know, change of pace. He is one of 3 black figures that I own. You know what I mean? Star Wars Black Series figures. I only have him, Kylo, and Darth Maul. I was never really interested in them because I prefer them at the small scale because they can interact with all the vehicles and stuff. But let's look at him. So he comes with this blaster. I'm not a Star Wars geek, so I have no idea what the proper name is for this thing. But as we look at it, you can see that there is a nice little wash going throughout of it. Wow, throughout of it. My brain, it's like, what do you call it? I do not remember. Anyway, you can see the wash going throughout it. There's a little peg here, but there's no peg around him, at least not that I found, where you could actually, like, put the weapon when he's not using it. But anyway, nice paint on this, nice wash on this. It looks really good. There's a very subtle wash on the jacket, especially you can see it in the red spots. It's pretty nice. His pants, they have the kind of sand color painted from the pants, from the boots up to kind of the top of his pant legs. So it feels like he is walking around in the sand dunes of Jakku. And then that's it. It's nowhere else. There's no real, like, serious wash. It's real subtle throughout the jacket. There's a nice pattern going throughout his shirt, and you know, the silvers, the reds, and everything is pretty nice. Now they managed to make this plastic here on the pelvis, which is part of this lower torso piece, pretty much match the legs, which are sculpted in that color, or cast in the blackish gunmetal gray color. and then they painted onto it, which is pretty cool. There's a wash on the feet, something like I said you don't get much in your Legends. Wash on the feet, which are cast in this beige color, and then they painted the lower part of the ankle where the joint connects, and then kind of splash that on there with a subtle, you know, dry brushing going up in here, so it looks like dirt, which is pretty nice. I like that. Colors are pretty consistent with the neck and the head and the face and all that, and the hands is pretty dope. But look at his articulation. I was actually impressed at this articulation because, you know, Darth Maul doesn't have like the best, but his head is on a ball joint with, I'm pretty sure there's a hinge in there. Yeah, there's a hinge, so he can kind of look up a little bit higher. But anyway, so there it is, eye level, left, right with no problem. Looking up, he can look up really far, pretty nice. He can look down perfectly if he wants to look thorough, like if you want your fin to be joining the dark side or something, you can kind of, you know what I mean, add the shadows, like, oh, sorry. Anyway, you know what that is. I'm not even going to do it because I'd be stealing somebody else's thing. But yeah, he can do that too. Arms move up this high. There's the nice swivel at the shoulder. Arms go up this high. They don't stay close to the body because of the jacket. Sorry, I live in the hood. Well, close to the hood. Elbows. 90-degree bend at the elbows. There's a swivel at the elbow also. This hand has the up-down swivel. No matter how you twist it, it'll be up-down. And there's a swivel, which is pretty nice. There is kind of like a decent amount of movement at the diaphragm joint, which is dope. He can turn that way. There's not a waist swivel, so this works perfectly. You know, the coat helps too because it stops the body from going extra far. You know what I'm saying? You can only go that far because the coat is in the back pushing against his lower torso. Legs come out this far, which is different from what we see with our Legends. It goes out this far, which is about the same as what we see with our Legends. There's a swivel at there's a cut at the thigh. It's not an anatomically correct thigh swivel, which a lot of people ask and don't get it. Anatomically correct is this, where the swivel is up top and the cut is not down here. The standard way you see it on most figures is that the cut is down here, and that's kind of frustrating because it doesn't look right to me. Sometimes your figures, when they get slack over the years, then they just tend to just constantly end up like that, and it doesn't look right. So anyway, you've got the swivel down here, cut mid-thigh, double jointed knees, which get up that far, which is pretty nice in case, you know, he lost and he's like, no, you know, like, what was that, Platoon? Oh, and he's getting blasted in the back, like, or he's, you know, running and he's like, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, that's his knees. Let's see what's at his foot. So we can point that far, pull his legs back that far. You can kind of twist, but it's the weird twist because of the pivot. And I don't know about the pivot. I'm not a fan of it like some folks are. It works in some situations, and others it doesn't. And that's it. And he has enough range of motion in his shoulders and his the bend at the elbow that you can actually make him hold his blaster, rifle, combo, whatever it is, with both hands. And he can actually like aim down the sights. And another thing is, on the other hand, he's got the G.I. Joe up, down, see? Which is pretty awesome. So you can kind of have him, I guess you can't have him really look down the sights because they don't really typically do that in Star Wars. They usually have the gun down here and they're just pew, 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 pew. So you could do that with him and it doesn't look bad. He looks professional. It kind of annoys me when I saw some of the stormtroopers cannot look down the sights of their guns. I thought it's a new era for Star Wars, so he should be able to. So anyway, that is Finn. It's pretty good. I'm impressed. I thought that it wasn't going to be that great, and I stand corrected, and I like him. He's actually a good figure, really good figure. Kylo Ren. I was excited about him. I saw his design. From when I saw his lightsaber, I was like, this guy's going to be pretty damn cool. Very cool design. Lots and lots and lots of details. Very subtle detailing here and there. I'm not going to go over all his articulation. I'm just going to tell you what's different from the standard. The big difference is he has this joint, the up-down joint, on both hands. So he can always point. So if you want to do like in the trailer where he was kind of like walking up to wherever he's going to fight. It looked like where he's going to fight Finn. And he kind of had the sword back like that. You can do that, and it doesn't look bad. I know it was in the other hand, so for all you OCD geeks, calm down. I can hear your brain screaming at me from here. Anyway, lots of good detail all throughout. The mask is really well detailed. I'm going to try to put that... let me see if I can do it this way, because I want to show you what's going on underneath the hoodie so you can see what this guy is all about. Come on, focus. Focus. Alright, that's a little bit better. But you can kind of see what's going on with the paint detail around his head. It's pretty well detailed. I'll probably take some pictures just so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Yeah, because it's not clear enough when I do it that way. But anyway, this is a quick review, and we're already coming up on 10 minutes, so let me go through it. Nice variation of materials on his body, because there's like a tunic that's, you know, soft goods, and it goes all the way through this piece up here, and the hood is soft goods as well. And it falls down the right way. Like, it doesn't look wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't look bad. That looks about right. You know what I'm saying? That's how a hood should fall. They should have done this. Mattel should have done this with the Shazam release for the Comic-Con a couple years ago from the New 52. The ribbing around his sleeves and gloves and everything, it's consistent and it looks really good. It's also here on the under part of the tunic. Looks really good. Made out of a softer material. He's got very plain legs, but he's got a very decent range of motion, more so than Finn. You know, this is his split, and you can't go any further with Finn. So I'm not complaining. That's not bad. He can hold his lightsaber with both hands. You saw me doing that earlier. I'll show you again just in case you weren't paying attention, because sometimes, you know, people look away real quick and whatnot. So here he is. Yes, I know, I make it look easy. I actually play with my figures, that's why. There you go. Show you him up close a little bit more, or I'll move up a little bit more so you can see him. And that looks good. He doesn't look bad at all. I'm pretty impressed with this guy, because I expected a dumpster fire. I like how there's that cloak piece hanging over, this cloth hanging down on his shoulders. He just looks good. The belt has nice detail on it with this little tech piece right here. There's nothing else. No other information anywhere on the character. The helmet, like I said, it looks really good. Really good. Lots of cool little details. Even the shape of it. He does look like ultimately he's trying to be the next Darth Vader. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of things that kind of point us in that direction. But I'm cool with it. You know, I like what I'm seeing for this new series of Star Wars films that's about to start. So, lastly, you can take the energy effects off of the lightsaber, and then you're left with this lightsaber hilt with the two parts sticking off the sides, which look good. So, you know, the before, where you're standing there like that. And then you have the after. So, all in all, I'm impressed. Very good figures, nice designs. It's going to be a killer movie. I say if you find them, and these two are going to probably be rivals for the majority of the movie. If they're smart, they'll be rivals for the majority of the series, and they won't kill off, you know, Kylo quickly. I like what I'm seeing, man. Like, these guys, camera control, please, camera control. people getting in frame that shouldn't even be there. I'm sorry. I apologize greatly. Anyway, they look cool. I'm glad to have them. I think this will be my gateway into some other characters. I'm not going to go all crazy. I really only want Captain Phasma and maybe one or two other characters. I need my Qui-Gon and I need my Mace Windu, but I might just wait for the SH figure arts of those guys. But if you can't wait for the SH figure arts, because there are SH figure arts of Kylo, there probably is one coming of Finn. But if you can't wait, these are on shelves right now. And they cost $18.96, especially if you go to Walmart and you get them. Whereas your Marvel Legends cost $20. Doesn't make sense considering all the different things I'm seeing here. There's way more paint on here than on any of my Marvel Legends. So, with that being said, get them. Get them. Get them. I'm Strident. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. On to the next one.